The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning, and I'm Paige Clarke, and you are joining us on Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and our freedoms, I'm Nico Haan.
And it's a beautiful day here. It's 75 degrees outside. It feels like it's 20 degrees here
It's
inside.
about 60 in the studio, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And if you have any questions or comments for the show, you can reach me at nico@tfnn.com.
And me at Paige at TFNN.com.
And we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648.
Hey, we've got like a nice little smorgasbord today, you know, a couple different topics
Yeah, a
we
lot of
wanted
different
to
topics.
share. And one of the things that we found is, we love light therapy. And we found out that a really awesome UV treatment device that I had heard about from some physician practices in the area, it's actually invented right here in Oldsmar, right in our backyard, right here in the
I got a
Tampa Bay
text
area.
from one of my clients, and she showed me this. She says, this is just amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's light therapy, and it's intravenous, which is very unusual. I had never heard of this before, but I know you know about this.
Yes, and well, again, our skin does allow us to absorb light, but it
Right.
does inhibit a little bit of it, and this organization has found a way to just create one intravenous IV lead, and then the blood circles, and so they don't have to really remove the blood to irradiate the blood, because prior to the 1950s, blood irradiation was a great way to parasites, viruses, and was used extensively, but then we had the onset and growth of antibiotics. But today we're returning to some prior wisdom and using light therapy for all kinds of treatments to keep us healthy and to help reverse disease.
Yeah, this is the UVLRX 1500 system, is a LED-based medical device that administers multiple wavelengths through a peripheral IV catheter to passing blood supply. Each wavelength was chosen as a result of its unique therapeutic qualities. Red light has anti-inflammatory and immune system boosting capabilities, while green is shown to improve red blood cell function. UVA has a potential antimicrobial effect.
It sure does, and light again is the frequency, and all healing is a frequency situation. It's
Right.
voltage and frequency, and it's information. If you think of us as biological computers, if we get the right information, we can perform correctly. Here are some of the following indications where UV therapy, in multiple ways that you might get it delivered, can benefit. But this particular device, it helps with the reduction of pain. Reduces pathogens in the blood, reduces inflammation.
Yeah, the immune system modulation improves ATP synthesis.
And that's the energy currency of our cells, all of our cells. It
Right.
improves wound healing.
Improved blood oxygen transport.
Right, and increases in circulation. So we're real thrilled to see that more and more physicians and so forth are starting to implement this. And many people are using this just to help stay healthy.
Yeah.
I'm very aware, and also to help fight some of these very resistant situations.
Yeah, once an IV site is established, the system calibration setup takes a matter of minutes. A patient sits comfortably during the 60-minute treatment, which includes 30 minutes of red and UVA wavelengths, followed by 30 minutes of red and green wavelengths.
Yep, and the nice thing about it is that whereas before when they were doing blood transfusions to do UV radiation, it required a lot of supervision. One of my friends goes regularly for this treatment, and you're sitting back and relaxing while the blood is circulating in that loop and getting the light therapy, which then that blood recirculates in your body, and you're getting the healing benefits of light. So it's all good.
There's a good feeling about this, just talking about this. It's been used over a century to treat bacterial and viral infections and was awarded a Nobel Prize for treating lupus.
Right.
Routinely used in hospitals worldwide, this form of light therapy fell out of prominence in the U.S. with the advent of antibiotics, just like you said. And this is one of the problems I think we've had in the medical community, because relying on just one system, and particularly relying on drug companies when we have what, since Nancy Reagan said we want to stop the drugs, it seems like we've actually compounded the...
Oh, absolutely. The war on drugs is really an oxymoron. That's not really what's happening. We've had a war because of the drugs, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, it thrills me because all of these things, these what are called alternatives, since when did natural become the alternative is what I want to know. So it kind of jokes me. I hate to even use that word, alternative healing, but natural healing methods are reemerging, and people are embracing them and using them collaboratively. They're using them complementarily. How about that? I said those words early this morning.
Well, I couldn't have done that, I'll tell you.
So the point is seek out people that have this kind of device. Maybe we'll get to talk to someone like this. As you know, I'm very interested in light healing. Yeah. Working on some light therapy devices for different healing and aesthetic reasons. Yeah. And I just think this is super. So I'm glad to see it.
Well, of course, we know the value of just sun healing. In other words, if you're not feeling that well and you go in the backyard and sit in a chair and that morning sun is there, and you can almost feel the healing taking place.
Well, we've been so scared by that the sun is damaging to us, and absolutely it can be if we abuse it. Sure. Our ancestors didn't lay out like we do. They were so busy doing things, they got sun naturally. They crossed into some shade, they got out of it or whatever. But today, we have a light deficit. We have a deficit of these healing frequencies from both the near, far, infrared, visible, invisible light spectrum that can do amazing things. And as we know, the UV therapies are great for us internally, but they also are very good for our skin, and we need it. That's where all this cholesterol sulfate, which is what we need from the sun, gets manufactured in the skin.
Yeah, I think too, as somebody that always looks back into the primal times, I think we had a natural affinity for the sun, and we knew when to get out of the sun. And in other words, we exposed ourselves to the sun, and then we said, okay, enough, get in the shade. These days, we see people laying out the beach getting red.
Well, you're not supposed to burn.
Right, but you don't have the common sense to get out because of what you feel, because maybe that feeling is foreign to them, because they're in buildings all the time. Right. And this is kind of what I think of, when people from up north come down here to Florida and I see them on the beach, and they're there for hours and hours, and then all of a sudden, I've had too much. Why didn't they know this? I think it is because we're sheltered so much. We have all artificial light all the time. We're in these buildings all the time.
The gradual light building of it, a tan is actually protective. And, I look at some of these people who are older and are so afraid of the sun, and they look so frail, and yet these people that are walking on the beach and they've got a dark tan. I just think it looks great. I'd rather see someone tan and healthy. And again, I don't want to see...
Yay for beach volleyball.
That's right, right.
Love those bodies out there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is nice. And we do live in a place where there's no excuse. We should be getting out there and walking on our beautiful beaches.
That's for sure. I'd like to remind the people of picking up the Health Signals newsletter.
Great
I'm working
stuff.
on one. I've got it almost complete for the next show, actually, coming next week.
Well, we work to get a lot of articles in there that'll be interesting to you, so make sure you subscribe to the Health Signals newsletter. Stay connected. We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Number here is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle, and we just got through talking about light. But, you know, we've often also talked about collagen in beef and how I treasure that beef collagen, but there are other sources of collagen.
There sure is, and collagen in general is very healing for so many parts of the body. But today, you know, and many of you that have watched know that I love bone broth. I think it's a superfood. It gives us a different set of amino acids than the meats that we eat. We don't get the collagen anymore because we don't eat the parts of the animals that have that.
Right.
But we've talked about beef collagen. We've talked about your Jewish grandma's chicken soup. But today we're going to talk about fish collagen.
Fish head soup.
And fish head collagen. It was so funny because we found this article and I said, Nico, I just bought some fish heads to make some fish head broth, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But fish collagen is actually the best anti-aging protein that you need to know about. Dr. Axe and I are in the same ballpark here, and let's talk a little bit about why fish collagen is a collagen that we want to take a look at. And when we talk about collagens, think about broths. And that's the best delivery system for these. And whether there are a lot of people that are now making dehydrated and you can buy them, and that's cool, but learn to make your own broth and get it for pennies.
So easy to do.
Yes.
Just don't
and
throw away
delicious.
those bones.
That's
and all
right.
the bones all together.
Exactly.
And there's always some meat and stuff on there. So, you know, put them in the freezer, and then when it comes time to make it,
Just
and
throw
some
them all
fish.
in there?
I don't know if you mix the fish and the beef and
Well,
stuff.
well, Carolyn does.
She does, okay.
Carolyn will mix some different ones, but we'll talk about some of the different broths that we can make. But again, you use some vegetables so that the collagen traps the minerals from the vegetables, and then you remove those and you strain it and you have a great broth. And so really, let's talk about why does fish collagen top the list. There are many benefits associated with all animal collagens, but the fish collagen peptides are known to have the best absorption and bioavailability to our bodies, and this is due to the smaller particle size compared to the other animals, beef gelatin and
enters
chicken.
the bloodstream more quickly, by 1.5 times more efficiency in the absorption.
It is. That's wonderful. And since it enters the bloodstream more quickly, it's considered the best collagen for medicinal purposes. And its ability to be absorbed by our bodies is because of this low molecular weight, and it gets through the body, this leads to collagen synthesis in the joint tissues, the bones, the skin dermis, and many other essential body systems. And since we don't tend to eat the parts of the animals or the fish that have the collagen, because it's mainly found in the skin and the scales and the bones, making the homemade fish stock is a great way to get this collagen. And boy, it's so cool too, because like when I went to the fish market the other day, they had some yellowtail snapper. And yellowtail, I love yellowtail. That's why I wanted you to go to Blue Heaven in Key West, because they make the best yellowtail. But I digress. So so I had them bone the yellowtail, and then I had him package up the fish heads and the bones and the bodies. And he said, well, just come on by, because there's no charge for that. Guys, you can make a wonderful broth. And so don't throw away the best parts of the animal food that are part of our nourishing traditions. And let's understand, why do we like collagen? Well, collagen, a form of structural protein, has a unique amino acid profile that we don't get in muscle meat. Remember when Nico was teaching us, we were talking about how our ancestors would eat the organs and glands of animals, and actually the muscle meat was considered not the part that we prize. And now we do the opposite. Nobody eats the organs and glands. And
this brings to mind something. I was watching Andrew Zimmer, and I'm watching all those reruns, and he was in Sicily. And I didn't know Sicily was not part of Italy for many, many years. Anyway, he goes to this market, and there's one guy, he's got everything draped over this big bowl, and he's serving it on bread. And he won't let anybody look in there. He says, no, you can't, big secret. What he does, he takes all the drippings and all the slicing that people throw away in the market, and he puts it into a big vat, and then he uses lard and fries it up. And that's what's in this thing. And people are just raving about this stuff. And you can't look at it because it doesn't look too good, but when you put it in the sandwich and you just eat it, it's the best thing ever. So what people are throwing away is something very valuable. You can go to your butchers, and you can go to your meat stores, and you can go to your fish stores and get this stuff for free.
Right, exactly.
Unbelievable.
You got any bones? Got any fish heads back there? And the truth is, I was asking this fish market manager, and I said, do a lot of people ask for the bone? He goes,
Nobody does.
And I just think it's a wonderful thing to do. Let's talk about these beauty benefits, because I've always said beauty is an inside job. So it's what we put in our bodies that's going to make our skin beautiful. But listen, it helps to maintain the strength and flexibility of your skin, your ligaments, your joints, your bones, your muscles, your tendons, your blood vessels, your gums, your eyes, your nails, and your hair. Don't you think that covers a lot of stuff? It's type 1 collagen, though. Yeah,
fish collagen is a complex structural protein that helps maintain strength and flexibility of skin, ligaments, joints, bones, muscles, tendons, all this stuff that you just talked about.
Right.
I mean, it's type 1. It's the best known for the foundation for beautiful skin and all these connective tissues.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this amino acid profile that I've been talking about has a high concentration of glycine. Now that's interesting, Lone. I'll give you a little tip on that. Glycine and hydroproline and proline. These are, as an example, the amino acids that are not in high concentration in muscle meats. Now glycine is very important, folks, because glycine is important for making ATP and our cellular functions and all the whole Krebs cycle, etc. There's a lot of new research. If you follow Dr. Stephanie Seneff, many of you have heard us quote Dr. Stephanie Seneff, the MIT researcher who's very big on vaccine information and on the damaging effects of autism, what's happening there, and the damaging effects that are happening from glyphosate, Monsanto's Roundup. And what she says is the Monsanto chemical gets into our bodies and takes up the glycine. Wow. It pushes glycine out. And so how critical is that? So we see this aging and all this. So let's put that glycine and these healthful amino acids back into our body.
And you can also go down to the docks where people are fishing. When they clean the fish, they throw a lot of the stuff away.
Right.
You could be collecting that stuff, and instead of them polluting the waters with it.
Now I want to give you a tip, though. I would like to caution you. Some people do this, but I want you to look for non-oily fish. Now you're going to ask me why.
Why?
Well, because preferably you want some of these more less oily fish. And the reason is because fish are high in polyunsaturated fatty acids, or PUFAs. And over the time of making the broth, these fats can be damaged. Think Ray Peat.
Oh,
Think our
that
knowledge
makes
of Ray
sense.
Peat.
Yeah.
So I don't think that your salmon or your big fatty tuna fishes is the best bone broth. Dover sole, snappers.
Yeah,
and
because
so forth.
you're when you make broths, you're putting them in a slow cooker and you're cooking them for a long time at heat. So naturally,
Remember?
those omega-3s can get damaged because of the heat. Yeah,
And
makes sense.
that's the work that
That's
you
good.
and I have been
Good
sharing
catch.
for the last 5 years about that Ray Peat has shared with us. So let's just I want to highlight these because
I think let's wait after the break because we're on a break and there's 5 real health benefits of fish collagen and I want to go over them one by one.
Yes,
before
we do,
get
and
something
maybe we'll
else.
have a nice infographic we can put up on the screen
I'll do
for you.
that. Yep.
So maybe we can pull that up real quick before we go to the break. I don't know. There you go. This gives us some of the highlights, and this gives you a little idea of really some of the great benefits that we're seeing. Is in terms of wound healing, we're seeing people in hospitals that are getting tremendous benefits from using collagen. I'm so glad it's coming back. We recommend things as simple as Great Lakes or Dr. Axe's collagen that you put into your coffee. Great way to sneak it in the morning.
Yep.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Give us a call.
877-927-6648.
See you shortly.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. We're talking about the health benefits of collagen, and specifically fish collagen, one you may not have thought about as a great source. And let's go through a couple of these benefits so we can really highlight them. And number one is the anti-aging benefits of fish collagen. And it's a type 1 collagen, and this is what our skin consists of. It's not surprising that it could benefit the skin based on this fact. It helps prevent and improve any signs of skin aging. Did everybody hear that? It prevents and improves any sign of skin aging. So I think this is a great reason to really consider this.
This is those small molecules you were talking about that really get to the skin.
Yeah, it helps moisture retention, skin suppleness, and prevents the deep wrinkle formation. And it's and the research published in 2015 in the Open Nutraceuticals Journal states how numerous clinical studies have now been performed showing the efficacy and benefits of collagen peptides on skin properties, including hydration, elasticity, and reduction of wrinkles. So I think it's, this is not just wives' tales, it's proven in the clinical research.
And of course, bone healing and regeneration, that kind of goes along with skin. When I think skin, I think
skin
bones,
and bones.
too. Yeah, skin and bones. So fish collagen recently shown its ability to increase the body's own natural collagen production.
Right.
That's huge right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have this production going on, but we want to boost it.
Correct.
Everybody, especially Florida, we're talking about people aging in place here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to look really good, and we want that time in the sun. We don't want too much time, but we do want that bone broth to give that skin that beautiful elastic feeling, and the wrinkles go away. Ooh.
Yeah, so I think now what I'm going to be doing when I go to get, I'm going to be looking for the fish. When they have the fish already filleted, I'm going to be looking for the whole fish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have the butcher fillet it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, do not, and I want you to de-skin it,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to give me the skin with the heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to utilize all of the skin. I'm not sure this time I got the skin. I'll have to look at it because I'm actually going to make it tonight.
Okay, number 3.
Yes, wound healing. Fish collagen might help whether you have a scrape or a bad cut or a more serious wound. And I think these hospitals should be paying attention. And maybe instead of serving up high
fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup Jell-O products. Maybe they should be giving everybody some fish broth. So it really helps the body form a new tissue matrix. And so again, this type 1 collagen is the most abundant structural compound in the dermal matrix, so it makes perfect sense that having additional type 1 collagen would help.
Yeah, it was previously believed that collagen was just structural supports, and we now know that the collagen has much more to do with the shape of the cell,
Mm-hmm.
the differentiation of the cell, the cell migration,
Migration.
Mm-hmm. And of course this helps get the stuff in and get
the
stuff out.
synthesis of other proteins, folks, because as we mentioned, when we just eat the muscle meat, we're getting a subset of amino acids. And unless we're drinking broth and so forth and getting collagen, we're missing a subset of amino acids that's not there. We want that complete mix, and we're going to get the best rebuilding structures.
And we really, ethically, we don't want to waste anything, and this is what really our primitive ancestors really were all about. They didn't waste anything of a plant. They ate the roots. They ate everything but the seed, pretty much. It's very interesting to me that we discard so much here in the Western society.
That's right.
So this is much more ethical to think about vegans, how they're ethically bound not to destroy animals. However, they're destroying animals just by farming. But the thing is that we're going to use something, use it all.
That's right, and be grateful. That's right.
Yes.
Number 4, I really like this one. This is a very strong point for why I recommend it to my clients. Collagen helps you to increase your protein intake, and in a form that's very absorbable. By consuming fish collagen, for example, you don't just get the collagen, you're getting everything that collagen contains. And fish collagen contains over 97% protein with no fat, sugar or carbohydrates, making it the absolute best protein food on the planet. How about that? Fish collagen. You can take that little sniglet today.
Yeah, and I always thought it was,
protein.
the fat and the collagen were kind of mixed together, but that's really not the case.
Well, in this case, that's really kind of separate.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So if you actually
That's very
cook
interesting.
and you make a broth and you put it in the refrigerator, the gel or the collagen will form. It's like looks
Right.
like Jell-O,
And
of
the
course,
fat is
and
on
then
top.
the fat's on top. So
Right.
there you go. But they go together well, correct?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And what it does have is that very distinct amino acid profile that we're seeking. And, because it is our amino acids that, form together to form specific proteins. And these are the building blocks of our bodies.
Yeah. And the number 5 is antibacterial abilities, and this is kind of huge because we're always want to take in things that are naturally healing to us, that are doing the repair for us. Remember that a body that's not in repair is in disrepair, and if your body's too busy trying to get rid of the things that you're taking in because it doesn't recognize it, like most of our modern food, it changes completely when your body goes, oh my God, when you taste that little broth, I mean, you immediately, instinctively know that it's good for you. I mean, there's just something there.
And I think the French, always had a consommé or a broth or a bouillon sitting on the back of the stove. And you would come into the kitchen and you'd grab a cup and you'd just sip a little broth. Maybe we need to pay a little more attention to that. Maybe we need to get back to having that. But I want to tell you something. Here's something else. Talking about the antibacterial benefits of collagen, there's a compound called collagensin. Hey, I didn't know about that.
I didn't either.
But it is actually an antibacterial peptide from the fish collagen. And this recent studies have shown that collagensin completely inhibits the growth of Staphylococcus aureus, more commonly known as staph infection. Could you imagine if they were giving fish broths to people in the hospital where these staph infections are rampant? Better yet, why aren't these grocery stores taking the fish heads and stuff and making it for the hospitals? You know what I mean?
I think the center of a hospital should be the kitchen with the best chefs in the world.
Absolutely, the hospitals should be where the food is healing.
Yeah,
But you don't get that here.
Yeah.
No.
People should be banging on the doors of a hospital. I want to get in because the food is so good.
Right, and that's...
and they say, sorry, you're not sick enough because you're probably eating good.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I picture hospitals should be all about.
That's really interesting. I just really think we could do more as a community and support perhaps making these broths or, having the hospitals buy these for their patients.
Imagine going out to dinner Saturday night and say, well, instead of going downtown, say, picking up these restaurants, let's go down to the children's hospital there and have a meal.
Yeah.
Because it's so good for you.
Yeah, and that they maybe have high phytochemical smoothies as treats instead of the ice cream that they're giving them or the Jell-O, the sugar-coated Jell-O. So,
okay, let's talk about a little nutrition.
Yeah, here's some fun facts about fish collagen, we talked about it has the calcium, iron, potassium, sodium, and you get maybe in a 10-gram serving, you're going to get about 10 grams of protein.
And 45 calories only.
Right. So we recommend, Nico and I, but I actually put it every morning when I have my morning coffee or shake. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way to start your day with collagen.
Yep.
And maybe even end your day that way. But I thought this is interesting. Let's listen to a couple facts. The first time chemists extracted collagen from fish, the skin appeared to be like 1985. And fish collagen is sometimes called marine collagen, but marine collagen products are sometimes sourced from shellfish and jellyfish, which Dr. Axe doesn't recommend. I don't know why, but that's probably not.
Well, they're bottom
desirable.
feeders. Maybe they're getting a little bit more of the mercury in there. And
well, they don't have scales.
That's true. Yeah,
right. So it's the scales is where it comes from.
Okay,
So it's sourced from the scales, the skin, and the bones, from fresh or saltwater fish. And full use of the fish body can be seen in many dishes, including the heads and the eyes. So, we maybe need to look at these as valuable things to have.
Yep. And when you store it in a cool, dry place, naturally a refrigerator would be a good place to.
That's right.
So we'll be right back. Just enough time to pick up some Primal Edge and pick up my Health Signals newsletter, so you get the new one coming out next week. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, and we have Robert from New York, early riser this morning. How you doing, Robert?
Oh, good morning, Nico and Paige.
Good
Not
morning.
New York,
Buffalo.
New
There
York.
you go. That's right. That's an important distinction. I know that. I know a lot. I have a lot of friends from Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, it's a great little town. Anyway, yeah, a few weeks ago when Nico was on vacation in California, you had a lady on your show talking about bone broth.
Right, Carolyn.
Oh, yes. And she mentioned, I think, a book where you could go get more information. And my other question is, my wife and I have tried this bone broth twice, but my wife throws away the fat. And I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea.
You mean after you put it in the refrigerator when the fat?
Yes.
Think of that like a form of lard. So actually what we're knowing now is all of those fats that we had are actually important for us, so you can save them. If she wants to skim them off, put them in a little Tupperware and use them for cooking. The next time you cook, you want to add a little bit of lard. It's not heating up all these vegetable oils. Use the fats from. But I actually
Use it in with the bone broth.
Yeah, I mix it in, because I like the fats. But there is some that might be too much fat for you. It depends on how much you create. But it sounds like your wife's making some good broth. That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
We did it in a crock pot for I don't know, maybe a good 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then, but like I say, the bones are from regular beef. They're not from grass-fed beef. They're just so I was wondering about that also.
Well, the better product, naturally, the better the bone broth is going to be. But bone broth from just about anything is really good for you. If you get the grass-fed beef, it's going to be a little nicer. But, you're doing the right thing, starting off the right way. No reason why you can't leave the fat in there, but if you want to take it out, that's not a problem either. Oh. It does help you burn more fat if you leave the fat in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because we're trying to stay healthy. And by the way, I really enjoy listening to your program.
Well, thank you.
It's a really great program.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Paige, do you remember that book that Carolyn
I was just going. What were you saying there, Robert?
Well, when you had Carol Lynn on, I think she mentioned some lady or some person that wrote a book about.
Yeah, the book, I just looked up. I know a real good book is Dr. Kellyanne's Bone Broth Diet. But I know the book that you're speaking of. I just looked up real quickly. The book that she shared, I saw it when I was in a restaurant the other day. And I'm not recalling the lady's name, but what we'll do is we'll find out for you, and we'll get the name of that book. I just was.
that'll be great.
But I do know that Dr. Kellyanne's bone broth diet is a fabulous book. She kind of really.
Dr. Kellyanne?
Dr. Kellyanne, Kellyanne altogether. Dr. Kellyanne's bone broth diet.
Okay.
If you go to Amazon, there's a collection of all kinds of books. One of my favorite cookbooks of all times is Nourishing Traditions, Nourishing Broth.
That's it, Nourishing Traditions.
Yeah. No, that's the
was the
cookbook.
book,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the book that I brought up. Nourishing Traditions, but that's a great cookbook. I give that to people like I'm getting ready to give that to my niece for Christmas this year. But now, Nourishing Traditions, they came out with a book called Nourishing Broth, an old-fashioned remedy for the modern world. It's $12.99 on Amazon, Nourishing Broth, and it's by Sally Fallon of the Weston Price Foundation. So, Nourishing Broth, and you'll see it, there was quite a few books on Amazon, but we're so glad that you enjoy the show. We enjoy sharing healing information for everybody.
Yeah, and if you go to westonprice.com or .org, you can find lots of things on bone broth just on that site, too.
True.
Okay.
All right.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hey, Robert, appreciate your call, and thanks a lot.
Yeah, give us a
Okay,
call
have-
again.
Okay, have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've been talking about things that we want to add to our diet, and I think now it's time to talk about things that do you want to really take out of the diet? And the first thing I always mention to people are, the breads.
Well, Life Without Bread, which is a great book, by the way. Add that book to your list. I can't remember the gentleman who wrote it, but he's from Austria, and he wrote the book Life Without Bread. And I like this article, which was in Women's Health magazine, that we want to share some, pearls with you, is that so many people start their day with bread.
Yeah.
Well, what if we started our day with broth instead?
Be a huge thing.
So change your bread for broth.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to one of my BJJ buddies, Dan, Big Dan, the other day. We were sitting on the mat watching the guys fight, and he was mentioning to me, he says, when I stopped eating the bread, that's when I noticed all my aches and pains leaving. And he says, once in a while you grab a pizza or something like that because you want to, and he says, that very evening I start having the pain back.
Well, what happens, I believe, is when people start to give these foods up and they get enough time where they really go, wow, I don't have an ache in my body. Then when they have it again, it's kind of
That's when it sinks in.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh boy,
Yep.
okay, I see it. But until they give it up, they don't believe it. They don't really feel it. But let's talk about 8 things that happen to you when you stop eating bread, because we really have to realize that there's just more to it. The foods themselves are inflammatory because of the hybridization, as Nico and I have shared on this show. And there are also problems because so many of them are sprayed with pesticides, including pesticides like glyphosate from Monsanto, which takes up the glycine receptor. So we're starting to connect the dots, right?
So the first thing is you lose water weight. And this is really cool because, when carbs are stored in your body, it's a form of glycogen, and each gram of carbohydrate stores are 3 to 4 times its weight in water.
That's right. And that's a
So
really
if you
good
want to
point.
lose water weight, carbs are the way to lose it.
Giving up carbs.
Giving up carbs,
Giving
yeah.
up carbs is the way to lose it. You retain fluid when you're eating carbs. When you're not eating carbs, you stay lean with respect to the water.
So
You also
two.
catch the low carb flu. There's just this overall low level, low grade inflammation that's going on in your body. And, a lot of people quote that carbs are the brain's main source of energy. And when a person cuts down on carbs, the brain is running on fumes. But that's not true. Our bodies produce the necessary glycogen that's necessary for the brain. And we know that we have a preferred fuel source for the brain, which are ketones.
Right. And the thing, too, is remember that you don't switch over to burning fat immediately is when you stop eating carbs. So that flu is kind of like your body's trying to get some energy, and you don't have the carbs, and it doesn't really know how to switch. In other words, you haven't really taught your body how to use its preferred fuel, which is fat.
Exactly. And it takes a little bit of time. That's why a lot of times when you're changing from being a sugar burner, bread burner, to a to a fat burner, you really will have. You might even have these unpleasant bad breath, body odor and so forth.
Common is a week to 2 weeks, and uncommon is, depending on your state of health, 3 months, 6 months. Sometimes it takes a year to completely get your body into sync.
Yes.
And if you're longer than 2 weeks, I think you need some expert help with some people that have already been through this, seek out a professional if that's what you should do. I think you should.
Number 3, your cravings are going to subside. Well, because we've shared with you that in carbohydrates and grains there are natural opiates that create this craving sensation that the body pays attention to. So remove those stimulus, and you're not going to feel those cravings.
Yep.
And number 4, your risk of heart disease and diabetes goes up or down. Isn't that interesting?
Well, depending on the shape you're in.
Yeah, and but for the most part, I will tell you that those people who ingest excess carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, have a higher risk of heart disease. This is very much a surprise to many of you, I'm sure. You know, you've been indoctrinated that it's the fats that we need to worry about, and it's not the fat, folks. The fat is your friend.
Yeah, so we have 4 more things we want to discuss on this topic, so stick around. They're real important.
Right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
So welcome back to the show. So we're talking about the risk of heart disease and diabetes goes up or down. So let's clarify this a little.
Yeah, and Nico and I were talking about this on the break. See, bless their heart, Women's Health magazine, they're scared to go against the status quo. Mainstream articles, they don't want to, ruffle the feathers of big food and big pharma too much. So their comment was, your risk of heart disease and diabetes goes up or down. They don't want to say, but the truth is, with carbohydrates, your risk of heart disease and diabetes go up, folks. And this article talks about, we know that in 2014, it showed that lowering carbohydrates, decreases your risk of heart disease and diabetes. But then they say, meanwhile, according to the American Heart Association, whole grains can improve blood cholesterol levels and lower risk of heart disease, stroke. Folks, cholesterol does not cause heart disease. And
whole grains may be worse than the bleached.
Bingo.
Because the wheat germ is in there, even though wheat germ oil, like you said, is really good for you.
Right.
The wheat germ itself is not. It has many lectins in there.
It has the lectins that keep us from digesting, that create inflammation. So if we understand how to take our grains, possibly, and sour them and ferment them and sourdough them, and then you can have, a grain periodically, but
certainly not a booster, but it's not going to harm you as much.
So I just want you to start dissecting your articles and realize who's writing it, and that they're afraid to go against them. Your energy levels drop. That's one of the reasons that
because you haven't switched over to being a fat burner where the energy is endless.
Yeah.
So because you haven't switched over, your energy drops. So look at this as a marker saying, okay, this can change for me.
Well, this article was kind of slanted towards... This article is kind of slanted towards, maybe you don't want to give up carbs. It says whole grains are a great source of iron, potassium, B vitamins, which are critical for maintaining energy levels. Many people are already many people are deficient in these, but so the truth is your energy is going to go up, but you're going to have to give yourself time to make the fuel switch.
Yeah. Number 6 is you don't poop. Well, first of all, you can get constipated by eating too much protein, no doubt about it. Once you start equaling out, the system will work just fine. And
you're better off getting your fiber sources from vegetables. That's where you want to get your...
because it's really the only source.
They're making the recommendation to get your fiber through your whole grains. Folks, that's not a good source of fiber for you. In fact, what we see is a lot of people that are on grains end up having a lot of bowel irregularity
this
issues.
is right here. In digestible parts of plants like grains. Well, grains aren't they're parts of a plant, but they're not a plant. They're a seed.
Yes.
Held in stasis.
Well, they're a plant, but they're the seed part of the plant.
They're part of a plant,
right?
Yeah.
And then this says, when you give up these 8 things, you're going to get really moody. Well, remember, this article was probably written to make the food industry, the packaged food industry, happy. All right? So what they're saying is, oh boy, you're going to be moody if you don't eat your carbs. Are you just not getting it eating those lettuce wraps? Yeah. So what they're trying to suggest to you is that you're really depleting yourself if you're not going down those 20 aisles in the center that have all the box packaged and wrapped, grain products. And then they mention your workout suffer. These are just not true, folks. When you make a switch to the foods our bodies were designed to eat, the foods that help us regroup and regather our natural biochemistry, which are vegetables, an occasional small amount of fruit, and moderate protein and moderate fats, then you are really heading in the right direction.
Yeah. It says here, of course, the workouts suffer, but as we know that when you cut your carbs, you will drop energy if you're not a fat burner. So the thing to do is start becoming a fat burner, and all this stuff goes away very nicely.
That's correct. And you can enjoy your carbohydrates, but look as green as the vegetable kingdom is the place that you're going to get your healthy carbs. So this article, 8 things happen when you stop eating bread, is kind of a slanted article. The reason we brought it up is because there's a lot more to it than this, and a lot of positives happened. The negatives do show up in the beginning. It's short-lived. If you're healthy, the healthier you are, the shorter it is. Yeah, and like I said, if you really want to get an idea of a book that's got great research, is that Life Without Bread. I apologize, I don't know the author, but if you Google it, Life Without Bread,
you'll find it.
You'll find it. And we'll find you on our next show, so stay connected with us and
Thanks a lot,
have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.